Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to FaceIT TV. We have for you some pre-qualifiers for DreamHack Cluj. Of course, it is Europe, and it's our regular hours. We did North America very recently, and now it's time for the bread and butter here at FaceIT TV, the European region. I'm joined by James.
Hello.
And we have two Danish teams who will be facing off against each other to begin things, as you guys could see from the schedule. And, well, how are you doing, James, first of all?
SK got 2-0'd by Joel's. I've never seen this person play, but I know he's a HLTV hero.
Joel's has been playing for a long time. There's all kinds of mixed teams.
He's a HLTV hero, so maybe we'll see him later on. We're going to be doing one of the qualifying semi-finals matches, which is Dignitas versus Reason. But there are 3 teams which will qualify today, if I'm not mistaken. So each team who wins the semis will go through to DreamHack Stockholm. And then there'll be... I don't think bronze match really makes sense because the person who wins that also goes to DreamHack. So it's like a... That actually you could call a consolidation final, which normally that makes absolutely no sense. But this is one situation where maybe it does make sense.
That's great.
As opposed to calling a losers final consolidation final. But whatever. So 3 teams are going to go through to the offline qualifier for DreamHack Cluj, and we will be witnessing whether it's going to be Dignitas or Reason. So we can see that LDLC Blue lost to excuse me, lost 2-0 to Reason, and Kick lost 2-0 to Dignitas. I think Kick beat Dignitas last week in the other qualifier. Indeed, it is correct, says producer Reese. So on the other side, you can see Mixcat will be playing D&G, which I don't think stands for Dolce & Gabbana. It's Dobry Gaming, or it's Dobry and Gaming, but Dobry Gaming. Polish. Dzień dobry is good morning in Polish.
Really?
People on Twitter were teaching me good evening, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I have a bit of an idea.
Try.
Because I know how to pronounce...
Come on, James. Believe in yourself.
Because I don't know if you know the word...
If you don't, no one else will. Come on.
I don't know if you know the word Wienecke, but it's like W-I-E-L, and it has like a Z-C-K-W-A, I think that might be it, but you pronounce it Wienecke.
Fair enough.
So I have no idea. I can't remember the spelling, but anyway, I'd rather say good morning.
You're really dancing around this issue. Just say it.
I don't know how...
Just try.
I have to look at...
This is... You can just try.
I don't know the words, Dan. I don't know the
I thought you
letters.
said you knew the words.
No, I said people tweeted me. It doesn't mean I remember. I have to look on the Google device.
All right.
Well, you gotta talk to people while this is happening.
I mean, I wreck myself frequently when I try to speak Swedish. Although some people appreciate it because, I don't know.
Some people are
I guess they like to see people fail. Like, at least I'm not that guy.
This is going to be too difficult for me to find. So if you speak Polish, you can tweet me how to say good evening in Polish, and then I'll try to say it.
Or other cool phrases, actually.
Oh, let's just widen it and just ignore.
Yeah. Why not? Maybe you'll learn something that will be useful next time you go to Poland.
I've been learning Russian, Dan.
I think Polish people understand Russian, generally speaking. I think they teach it in school.
I was solo queuing yesterday, and somebody who was Polish was trying to pretend to be Russian, and then I started speaking Russian to him, and he said, "Oh, actually, I'm Polish," because he couldn't reply back.
You intimidated him, James.
Anyway, we are into the pistol round here. Dignitas versus Reason. This is a best of 3. What are our maps? Do you know what the maps are? Well, the first one's Dust 2, then I can tell you that. Second is Mirage, and the final is Cobble. So, MSL has pushed up to the top of mid, and he's got a headshot onto HUNDEN, who has his name spelt in a very weird way. Schneider on Dignitas, hey? So that makes me wonder if are they calling in Danish? Is there a connection there? Is there? Who knows? We'll have to ask them. We've got 2 CTs over towards the B bomb site. You can see there are 3 Ts hanging out in the tunnel area, higher and lower, with a bit of a rotation. I'm not sure if MSL can hear. I think maybe he could hear it. Who knows? Well, Reason currently limited in their options. And the bomb has been revealed, so they've got to push now, and that means that there'll be a full rotation from the CTs as well. Absolutely shut down of the B bomb site. Only maeVe getting a consolation kill there on Kjaerbye.
That was kind of sudden. It's a little bit sudden, all that build up, and then boom, it's over. It's over straight away.
It's like you were building a big domino thing, and somebody opened a door, there was a draft, and everything just fell over.
I guess so. I guess that is an
an underwhelming culmination.
As long as you don't go back to your Aigar analogies, you guys don't know this, but James has been really obsessed with Aigar recently. Aigar.io, this is like this game that everyone's playing, and he keeps making analogies, and it scares me. Either way, I'm sure we'll bring one of those out later. We are going to see the the pistol buy from Reason, of course, they didn't get the bomb down. They've actually decided not to force up, which is actually quite interesting. As on the terrace side, there is almost no reason not to try, unless you want the AWPs out very early. HUNDEN, though, he's going to try to cause some kind of damage, and that is one player down. But really, unless they get more than one, I don't think Dignitas are going to be worried at all. So I like that they have also, opted to get, rifles. Again, it's dust too, so that does make a lot of sense due to the fact that you're working with really long ranges and, well.
I don't know what JUGI was trying to achieve there by just spamming the deagle through the smoke, because I thought maybe he's trying to run distraction for a teammate, but his teammate's right behind him, so... Or maybe he's trying to identify where a CT might be by spamming, because if there's obviously... We've got 2 FAMASs on there, so if there's like a... If you see some tracer fire, maybe he can try and get a cheap kill through the smoke. That's the only thing that makes sense there to me.
Sometimes as well, especially when attacking into the A-bomb site, if like, for example, as you say, you don't know where anybody is standing, you can try to bait out some grenades, and you can see the trajectory of the grenade, and it gives away the positions of the CT, which is actually has large implications as well. But we can maybe talk about that later on.
Large implications, Dan.
I actually recently made a video about this, but we have a bit of a cleanup there. Nice little spray from aizy with the MP9, and that's a lot of bank built by Dignitas. So they are really looking after their economy really well into the next rounds, so they're going to be really happy with that. And reason, now we saw them going with a more economical approach, not trying to force up straight away and spend everything, but just like a few pistols here and there. And this is the reason. We got the AWP out early, and that's what they wanted.
This is the reason. I see what you did there, Dan.
Oh, I didn't do that on purpose. That's despicable.
Your mind said no, but your body said... Okay, stop. All right, we're going to have the buy for both teams. Deagle onto... Sorry, Deagle. The AWP. The other Deagle.
So like a really big Deagle.
It needs a big, long Deagle. So we're going to have one lurking towards long. Bit of aggression there, but starting to move away from long as Pete comes in from MSL. We'll see if either player there gets hungry for information. 2 into B for the time being. Curious to see if Dignitas will keep this setup or if they'll leave it to 1B later on. Fairly slow start to this buy round for both teams. Obviously, Reason will have some information as to the play of Dignitas on the anti-eco rounds, but isn't necessarily going to be the approach on this round as well. So Reason may be looking to identify the status of mid and short. Bomb in lower tunnel at present, may get thrown over if they push A, and the carrier may become a lurker. You can see the bomb being thrown to short now.
It's quite interesting because Dignitas actually had aizy and CT spawn. Now he's moved towards the bomb site. So initially, for the first 45 seconds, they had a really nice setup to deal with B splits, and then they didn't see anything. So then aizy went back to site. Now they got a really good defense against A splits, and you can see that actually Reason are going for the A split as well. So interesting stuff. Reason going blind with it for a blind A split. Will it work? They've got the grenades. They've dropped players down onto the CT slope here, and they will pick up the kill onto aizy. This is a nice entry into the bomb site. However, MSL has decided to redirect himself. He's not going to hold on too long. He's going to try to retake the bomb site, and he's doing an excellent job of it at the moment. 2 players down straight away, and that is going to give his team a chance here, but it is a small chance. They are looking strong on the bomb site.
Right, so there's man advantage for Reason as they try to hold here. They've got control of short, but not long. Pimp has left the building, leaving only MSL in a horrible situation. He's going to get his head popped off, and that will be the first round on the board for Reason. So you can see the Reason had a set execute there. They had the smoke into CT spawn to allow 2 of their players to jump down. That smoke was combined with a smoke towards car as well, which is the common area, where an AWP can... it's very strong for an AWP to go for a shot and re-peek. But that allowed the 2 people in long to get some frags on the retake. Anyway, it's going to be quite an impact on the Dignitas economy. They will get a buyout. Lacking some nades. You can see Pimp reduced to the FAMAS. Pimp and aizy going to buy helmets. Only config's gun is a worry here with regards to helmets. And close quarters pistol play. So we've got Pimp holding an angle on short here. Player on site, and MSL might be pushing long, but can he get the information fast enough?
So this is one of those spots as well where Reason could try to bear out some information, but that said, they'll push straight up into catwalk, they'll go up the stairs and find a player defensive there. So now, this is really nice for them. They've got a minute left to play with, and they have created a very horrible situation for Dignitas by eliminating that A player. So
you could see there was a bit of a rotation. Well, there was a full rotation, at least from B to mid, by the two Dignitas players, but they've both now gone back into B just in case. You can see there's uncertainty as to where Reason are pushing.
The A split is usually the best option in spots like this for the terrorists, because we can, if you look at the minimap, how spread out are the two Dignitas guys on A? They're really spread out, and this means that the defense is going to be very hard, and you can see aizy peeks, gets eliminated straight away. There's nothing he can do, and this is going to cause a really horrible situation here for Dignitas to try to retake this bomb site.
Indeed, just as that push was coming in short, you could see MSL coming through long doors. However, there was nobody there, and that is a great timing smoke on shorts to basically close out the important parts of the map. Choke points shut down by Reason. Dignitas in trouble for now.
Yeah, this is a spot where I really feel like, so this is the most classic of positions on this map. If you're a CT side and you lose a player like relatively early into the round, as was the case here, there's a minute left to play with and you're down to 4 players. There's usually 2 options. Either because you can't get aggressive easily on this map, you can't really play for info like you can on cash, so you get 2 options. Either you stack a bomb site and try to play 4-man defense on either the B side of the map or the A side of the map and then save if they don't go there, or you're spread out like that. And a good team will almost always attack A and isolate the single player 4 versus 1 or 5 versus 1, and then you're screwed. So
saving 3 guns will allow Dignitas to go for the 4 spy here. You can see Pimp on the Mag 7. See how he uses that. Oh, this is actually a really strong position for the Mag 7, especially if he has a player running distraction on the A site itself. He doesn't at the moment, but again, this is probably the most accurate weapon he could ask for in that position where he can jump and actually just kill people as they rotate. But Reason maybe expecting something tricky, maybe trying to identify what the approach is of Dignitas, taking this very carefully. Will we see another late execute from them? It works well so far.
I really like the wallbang approach there. It is really free to do that. You're not giving any information away because the T should be in this position. And usually teams will try to pop flash in there, and actually that's usually more of a guaranteed kill. Because the CTs, it's very rare in the meta that people will actually put someone behind those doors because it's so common to pop flash and entry frag that area. So quite cool that they just managed to get rid of that player with nothing invested. But now the Reason they're grouping up onto the catwalk area, they haven't really got any info on middle, so they don't know what the setup is of Dignitas. So if they push here, it's pretty blind. Oh,
and what's terrible is Pimp is now in long as opposed to just in this jump spot where he could have wreaked absolute havoc. So this is going to be a difficult hold from the goose position. How much can Dignitas do from long, especially with only a Mag 7 there and a rifle? He's getting 1 kill onto config, but he will be traded immediately by the T side, of course. You can see the 2 players from long for Dignitas coming quite close now. Can this Mag 7 get put to work?
Yeah, we got HUNDEN there. He's close by the bombs, pretty much standing on it, and Pimp is going to make his way around with the mag. So this frontal assault onto HUNDEN is very, very important that Pimp gets this kill. The mag this is such a good range for it, but he's not able to find the frag. Finally, though, he will eventually get that kill, and he's got the AK, but his teammates have died on their approach into short, and that means Pimp is pretty much without hope in saving the round. So another one won by Reason. And it was quite a cool push. I mentioned that it was after they got the initial map control. I feel like they could have tried to get some info in mid, and it was pretty free, but they decided just to walk short, and that actually ended up working quite well considering that Dignitas didn't have the gear and the grenades to really stop them. Indeed,
Dignitas will finally go for an eco, because they saved 3 weapons in the previous round when they had to save, that they might, if they lose this round, presuming they lose this round, they might be able to buy in the following, as they've lost 3 rounds in a row now.
Yeah, and this is one of the hardest maps as well to use the pistols on. It's usually why I'm always cringing when I see the force buy from the CTs after they lose a pistol round, because it's pretty typical. So it's hard to use pistols, and aizy's one-shots maeVe there, but it is typically very difficult to get round wins as the spaces are so open to deal with, even with scouts as well.
Well, look at the numbers of the Dignitas players on short. Oh, the numbers are now gone. Just little headstones left where people once stood. 4 versus 2. You can see aizy has retreated to that area. What is that even called?
Which area?
I call it the boost spot. You know, where you boost a short.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I mean, the opposite is the corner is elevator, but either way, it's obviously not going to be very effectual. You know, Dignitas in this round, they didn't really have any hope to really do all that much. Obviously, you kind of have to buy P250s in my opinion in most cases, because the P250 for $300 is so incredibly cost efficient, because it's essentially the cost of one smoke grenade, and you can get a lot of economic damage with it, or at least the chance to do it, but still reserve to yourself, okay, we're not going to win the round, we're not investing to win the round, we're investing to save and hopefully do a little bit of extra damage. It'll
pay for itself as well with one kill.
Yeah,
$300 reward for $300.
Definitely, it's really underrated, I think. Not enough people do P250 ecos, I think.
Well, with the rise of the Tech 9, and the 5.7 is strong enough as well, so I guess it goes a bit under the radar than it used to. But it has excellent recoil. That is a great flash to stop maeVe from getting the entry frag onto long. He will be forced to retreat. And Reason will lose vision. Two Dignitas players holding things down there for the time being. They can opt to throw smoke there and rotate Pimp back to the site later on should they feel they need to. Maybe all this fire in mid will cause such a thing to happen. Bomb still in a passive position, just moving up short at the moment, but there's some information gathering here for Dignitas in B.
Yeah, this is a nice move actually. It's quite risky as we can see, and in fact, it may even be punished because it's trying to. Remember, he's got a very long barrel, so there it is. It's going to be spotted by Config, and that is the risk. And the problem with that is that his teammate was spotting into middle, despite them having a guy on CT. They had two people spotting mid, so I really feel like Schneider could have used some support in a play like that. Either way, we have the mid aggression coming in from Reason, and they don't have to push in fully. They spotted a guy in CT, and with maeVe taking down Pimp, this round writes itself. They just should go ace for an ace split, or just go up short, and it should be an easy round win. But MSL's there to provide a lot of resistance, takes down a player, causes confusion enough for aizy to drop in through the mid doors, and before you know it, Reason, they don't know what's hitting them, but they did still get off at the back of that short entry a bomb down.
aizy has a kit and a smoke grenade, so if they can take down HUNDEN on the site with maeVe playing on long, then they could just do this. There goes HUNDEN. This should be a no-brainer now once they identify where maeVe is. You see the smoke's gone down now, and maeVe is left to just take pot shots. Kjaerbye can even go for a face here, although the CTs don't have the economy to lose another player. There comes the defuse, and Dignitas get back to winning ways. But that was a very good observation, Dan, over towards B bomb site where Schneider was pushing with no support, basically exposed to two angles.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because
well, three angles.
If you're going to be pushing a location, you've got to consider how that affects your ability to effectively defend. So do you want to effectively push, or do you want to effectively defend? Because they're trying to have their cake and eat it there. They're trying to have both players defending middle whilst he's pushing alone in upper dark. I think that's really a really greedy play, and it did definitely bite them in the backside. But we do have a catwalk push there from aizy. He's going to go down. So this is really, really harsh reality felt by Dignitas now, losing a man early from that aggression. They already have a disadvantage on the weapons, and here it is. This is the play we wanted to see, but is it going to be good enough? Config will deny Schneider. There's no trade. He was right there to make the trade, but he didn't. Which player is it? I think it is Kjaerbye. Maybe he felt like he was a little bit too far behind, or the smoke was a little bit too obscuring, and he couldn't get the trade, and that's the big deal here.
Yeah, Reason have just waited all across the map, and Dignitas have just walked into their crosshairs, more or less. I mean, aizy going for the element of surprise didn't work out, which is unfortunate for him.
Wow.
Pimp, that is a good start. Oh, gets a third as well. Finally, they trade. How many terrorists do you need to trade a Pimp? There's a joke in there somewhere. I can't write it myself.
It does remind me a little bit of when we saw Pimp's amazing performances back in. I think they were the most impressive at Gfinity, the last Gfinity, I guess. I think you were present there as well. We saw Pimp is playing out of his mind, doing everything, always, every single
Three
match.
kills with one clip of a FAMAS is impressive.
It is.
We're going to have a fast push into B here. Reason may be expecting the eco from Dignitas, of course, after winning a round and losing their next one. It was an expensive round for them, though. Kjaerbye, how much more damage can he do? That's a pretty good start, and while he's doing all this and staying alive, allows his teammates to rotate. It's going to be 2v2 on the site now, but the CT's lacking armor. MSL, his position may be unknown.
Yeah, this is a nice opportunity for MSL because he can play patiently too. He doesn't have to rush in, but he is going to push in very quickly and go down.
He appears to be dead.
Immediately.
I've checked his pulse down, he's dead.
He's gone.
He's definitely dead.
He is sleeping with the fish.
Well, he's respawned down. Not quite TF2, but it's a new round. It's a new day. It's a new dawn.
That's the wrong way around.
Whatever. Dignitas on the double eco. Pimp's opted for a 5.7 and a HE. No tag through the door. Let's see the setup of Reason. How are they going to make sure they don't get anti-E-code? 2 people slowly going through lower tunnel. Just going to slowly creep, not give the position away. Keep their crosshairs in case there's any sneaky double doors push.
I like
Mid
this.
doors, sorry.
Because they went through upper dog, they can finish on a push together somewhere, but what they do here is they actually end up clearing a lot of areas, so they eliminate a lot of possibilities, so they get better knowledge of what is possible for the CTs, where they can be. And we can see them moving through middle. This is actually not so common of an approach to anti-eco, and this position from aizy is rather devastating. He's going to pick up the kill over everyone to HUNDEN, and you can really see how damaging that spot is. It's a very good counter position for the B-split plays, and it did do its damage, but Reason look like they have stabilized now.
Well, see if Pimp can do any more damage. Not to be. So this has been a difficult CT side so far for Dignitas. They will have another buy, but it will be on the edge. That's for sure. I wonder what the difference is on the Dignitas avatars. Maybe it's their Face It League ranks. Wouldn't surprise me if aizy was silver. I'm talking trash because I have a 1v1 with him on LAN at some point. So we're always talking smack. But back to the match. It's the buy round. Double orbs coming out for Dignitas. So they're changing things up here on the CT side. That's good to see. But will it make a difference? That is a question. They're limited on nades. They've got 3 smokes, which is good. Some counter flashes as well, so they can try and abuse Reason as they try to disrupt Reason's pushes. Should they survive that long? Reason, on the other hand, 3 Molotovs as well. They've
opted to go for a double up of Dignitas, and they have 2 guys in middle. This is an unconventional setup because they're leaving B a little bit like the B bomb side itself a little bit weak, and so you kind of, it's a safe gamble to take that the terrorists aren't going to pressure upper dark that heavily. It's kind of rare that you'll see that, and there you go. Pimp's going to be able to make a frag already. And this is going to allow Dignitas to have a nice advantage because Reason, they can't really afford to go for too many more picking plays, considering the fact that it's double orb and that they're already a man down. If they lose another man at this point, if they try to finish on a bomb site, they're not going to have anybody left. So they need to look to take some map control here.
Dignitas has started. Oh, I think that CT may have been spotted. They've had 2 people in the CT area, as well as having the double orbs. So they're definitely trying to bolster that position. There's still 1 person deep into the B bomb site next to the arch. Other than that, they're more or less concentrated on A. They might be in a good position to try and defend with control of long and people on the site. Let's see. Him taking a pot shot, but not really aiming at anyone. Doesn't manage to find any frags. Trades for both teams. That's going to be quick control, and they go back just in time to take most of short. There is a player there, and Kjærbye's coming in for support, but that smoke's going to be there for a while, so there's not much they can do. And it seems it will be a save here.
Yeah, this is a nice round from Reason, because if we recall, we had the double off from Dignitas. They're very strong in that sense to be have an anti-pick sort of approach. Because if let's say Reason wanted to take map control and then try to pick hero there, double up is a great way as CTs to deal with that. And Reason did lose a man, but then they realized, okay, we have 2 options here. We can either keep trying to pick and take progressively larger and larger risks, or we can take map control as a team and go for like a running execute, which is what they did onto A. Even though it was blind and they didn't know the setup of Dignitas, they were still able to execute it. So I like that they recognized that they had lost somebody, and that changes things.
Where do you think this path leaves, Dan? It's too late. We're into the match. Stop talking about it, Dan. So we've got Dignitas on another limited buy. We've got 2 FAMASs, aizy and MSL. Schneider back on the AWP. So is Schneider primary AWP there? We've got a fast push into B here. I completely missed that one. So Config getting the first frag. Kjaerbye might be stuck by the door, maybe unable to retake the sites in time. Looking for that T. That nade's going to give the game away, but can he get a frag onto Tabu? Indeed he can. Pimp's coming in for support as well. The bomb's still in control of Reason, however. Close to the tunnel, but will they continue to push? MSL getting the information for his team. They're rotating away. Let's see how the Dignitas team reacts. There is maeVe, who still needs to be, his location still needs to be identified, and he's more or less on the A site, Dan.
I can't really explain what happened in the opening there, but this is MSL coming from suicide. He's managed to find his way into the back of the enemy lines, and it's going to be pretty difficult for Dignitas to lose this round at this point. They've got such a good understanding where the bomb is as well, and Pimp is going to be able to lock down middle, so they are getting swished from all sides, and there it is, the final kill. But what's really surprising is...
MSL information play. Twice in 1 round. That's got to be applauded.
But I'm wondering, what is the answer to the question of Reason deciding to do a very, very fast rush timing like that? Because that's very, very rare, but that's definitely a response to how Reason have seen Dignitas handling some of these rounds. And they definitely would have predicted Dignitas to be on a buy round as well. So anyway,
I like how both teams are adjusting. And here's another one. They're going to go for a fast A long push with 4 players. One coming in late, but there are no frags for either side yet. Schneider coming in to support his player who's in the pit, can do a bit of baiting for him. MSL getting a frag as well. Pimp's coming to join the party. Schneider will be leaving the building for now. That was almost a nice nail onto blue, but he will be naded himself, MSL. So, only 2 Reason players remaining, both on long. Just picked up the bomb as well. Tabu's been spotted, but he'll be the one to get the frag through the corner of the smoke. Pimp taking down JUGI, and now we're down to a 1 versus 1. Tabu has less HP, Dan, than I have digits on my fingers.
I'd hope so. Oh, I don't think he has any idea necessarily that Kjærbye can be there. So if Kjærbye just plays this really smart, plays it very slow, it doesn't even matter. Tabu will peek the angle and there will be the kill. And that's quite cool though, because as you say, we had the really fast aggressive long take from Reason. And it's kind of funny because usually, again, if you're looking at the meta, you can presume that the DTs will have 3 players there very early into the round, because that's quite a standard way to open it. So they were just saying there, we just want to see if we can trade you, if we can trade better than you there with some good grenades. The answer was no. That was the answer.
Okay. So, Dignitas takes long with 3 players. Normally you have a player on a corner of elevator, but he was kind of going towards car, just in case his teammates got flash maybe. Anyway, this is fast presence on short from Reason. May is going to be the information man, just going there, asking questions, trying to identify where these CTs are and how many there are. While everyone else remains somewhat passive, you can see in the B halls there is a player just playing behind the pillar there, which is a standard spot, gives the T as much coverage as possible. MSL's going to go for the information play, but how far will he go? Those doors look juicy, but does he want to know what's on the other side?
Yeah, they definitely have a situation now, Reason, that they haven't really got the positioning to go for information, so they're just going to go for a push. And this spot for Kjærbye, of course, this is the longest barrel that you can have, so they might spot him. Oh, he won't be spotted in time. He will get a kill though, and it's an excellent quick reaction from HUNDEN to eliminate Kjærbye, who could have done an excessive amount of damage, but instead it's going to be a bomb down. It's going to be a 3-on-3, and these CTs, they don't have upper dark just yet. This looks great for Reason. Now Schneider is looking. He's just. I like this little spot here.
Well, have I never thought of doing that?
I know, right? It's pretty interesting that he's gone for it, but he doesn't spot anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the last round. They've got no choice but to go for it. It's a nice attempt, but there was going to be no frag there. Reason's playing passively. Schneider finding the no-scope. How much time do they have left? There's only 1 remaining. Someone's got to go for the defuse here. He's going for it. It's not going to be enough. JUGI taking them both down. They are both heavily tagged there. Another option actually is to boost on the boxes by the doors. If you boost a player over there, then you can see all the way into the site. But obviously your line of vision is limited. So
I just want to remind people that Dignitas, they started off winning the pistol round on the CT side. They started off getting a good economy. They got 3 rounds straight away. And they're only able to win 3 CT rounds against Reason's side. That's an impressive way for Reason to start this series.
Well, we have 4 Dignitas players going into the lower tunnel area. What is the play here? They've got one in the middle of mid. I'm wondering if they're going to try and get a pop flash in. MSL's got a flash. But there's a CT flash not coming in just in time, actually. Going to get people on both sides of the doors. MSL trying to do what he can. B's going to get shot straight in the face. All I see is headshots, Dan. It's like being in Overwatch.
Yeah, this is nice. This is really nice. If you think about this right now, we've got the same situation that happened more or less insofar as the CT side won the pistol round again. But this time it was Reason, and they've already got a really big lead on the rounds. So Dignitas must be a little bit worried right now, because I think on paper everybody would expect Dignitas to win this series. And the issue is also going to be that these players know each other so well. This is a domestic matchup, let's not forget. We've got Danes versus Danes, Dane on Dane action.
Dane on Dane action. It's time for Dane on Dane crime, Dan, you might say. So we have the force from Dignitas. We have a Deagle, Tech 9s, Pimp with a P250 but no armor, MSL with a Glock and armor. Maybe they should swap guns. I don't know. MSL's the flashbang man as well. So we've got a fast play, 3 people coming towards B bomb site, and we have a lot of recent players out of position. There are 2 on the B bomb site. Can they get in any damage done? The bomb needs to come through the tunnel quickly. Config finding 2, goes down to aizy. And that will be the bomb site in control of the T's. 3 versus 3. Do they have enough time to get their rifles, reload, and plant the bomb?
It's going to be very tough, to be honest with you.
That's not a good mate.
Here we go. We've got the CTs knocking on the door as the bomb goes down. Upper Dark has been taken. And we've got Pimp going for it. He realized, okay, I've got to get something. I've got to make something happen before they hit us. We've got to strike preemptively. But it did not work out. And Reason pick up the round.
The awkward thing there is, I think there was a bit of apprehension from Dignitas because it's 2 versus 3. And if one person plants the bomb, then it's 1 versus 3. So if Reason are in position, then they can just all storm the site as soon as they hear the beep. And they should be able to at least trade on one person and have a 2v1 worst case scenario. So that's maybe why the bomb didn't go down straight away. But they did get the plant, which will be a bit of money. But it will be on the eco again. So we're looking at 12-6 here for Reason, unless something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, and we're going to have the long push coming in from Dignitas as Reason. Just only one little HE there for the pre-nades, and here they go with the pistols. Can they get the damage in that they need to take not only the control of this position, but the weapons and the bomb site itself? There's some excellent entries coming in. MSL executing HUNDEN with that P250, and now there goes maeVe in config on the rotation, trying to figure out how do we save this round at the moment. The issue, however, is Dignitas don't have any Kevlar on the remaining 3 players, and not only that, they cannot really feasibly push up long, and they know it. Reason don't know that, though, and that is Dignitas' strength.
MSL, though, does have a smoke, and he can continue the fake, but I feel like they're kind of walking all the way towards B. So if they were making a... They have no idea if both CCs were towards A. But if they did, then, you know, if he gets that smoke down on the A slope, then Reason may have been convinced. I think... Oh no, MSL still got his smoke, so who knows where the other one was. You can see the remaining Reason players going for information now. I think maeVe's just keeping an eye on the crossover. At this point, MSL may even want to go and fake it himself, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's just drawing. He's a sacrificial lamb, Dan. But will he be sacrificed? Indeed he will. There he goes. There's blood all over the place. The gods have been fed. But will they be kind, Dan? Will they be kind?
No. No, they won't, James.
Well, see, it's yet to be found out, Dan, as the CTs need a retake.
Here they go. We've got schneider at the back. He's going to be spotting both players. They will eliminate him quite easily, and aizy's the last man standing. This aim punch is a real big deal, but he's actually managed to work his way all the way around outside. They have a player looking, but there it is. aizy goes for the duel. The defuse comes in. It was too easily won there by Reason almost. But again, no Kevlar. You would expect that to happen. And for Dignitas, hey, they won. They almost won that situation there. They managed to get loads of kills, 3 kills, and a bomb down. That's an excellent eco, to be honest. So, Pimp on the AWP, the big deagle, the big long deagle.
The big long deagle there. Oh, bit of a crosshair issue there, but fortunately there were no T's peeking at the same time. Otherwise, he may have had to execute his friend to execute his enemy. Would you, Dan? Would you pull the trigger?
Yes.
I would every single time, especially if it was you in the middle, Dan. No offense.
I was crouched. I got good reaction. I got bullet time.
Nice. Entry kill for the CTs, holding down most of the areas they need to, but there is a bit of a leak. There's a Trojan horse coming through the mid doors. MSL taking down his Danish comrade, you might say. So, what is the play for Dignitas here? They're about to realize that they have vision of shorts.
I mean, last time they had this situation, it was a 5 versus 4, and they decided to walk short, and it looks like they're going for it again with the right grenades. They have the smokes and the flashes to just get themselves fast positioning for a short plant. That's what they did last time. This time it's on JUGI. He must do damage. He gets a single kill. Is that going to be enough? That question is looming over JUGI at the moment now as he sees them in his death cam, waltzing all over his bomb site and planting the bomb.
That frag actually made the bomb fall into slope, and there was a gap in the smoke, so they were unlucky, the CTs, not to stop the rotation there. But here we go. 2 CTs coming from CT spawn. The second one hasn't been identified, and you can see Tabu just creeping, trying to see where these T's are. Almost got a spray on the second player, but Pimp will finish him off. So just maeVe, and we're having the flank from Pimp, but Pimp doesn't even know it. Schneider will finish the job. Dignitas survive with 2 players, including Njop. 5-round deficit now for the Dignitas side. And let's see, look at the money on Reason. They are going to have to go for the eco. Tabu buying a deal. Other than that, pretty much nothing else going on. Late buy of a P250 from Config. So, are they going to stack or are they going to go for a normal spread? Looks like a normal spread at the moment. 2-1-2. Pretty much the same as a buy.
Yes, it's going to be hard. Hard indeed for Reason to do much here.
I think they have to put somebody mid in this situation, because I think it's reasonable for Dignitas to try and identify if anyone's playing mid, and if not, then just split B. So if they get the frag anyway, then the split B will continue. Not going to bother with a smoke in CT spawn, as they are expecting an eco here. They're just going to take little damage from the P shooters and wreck them with a Megatron cannon.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Dust 2 is one of the hardest maps to actually win or do a lot of damage with, you know, with the eco, with like a pistol eco like Reason have right now. Obviously, Tabu did pick up the AK, and to be honest, saving it, of course, is the only option. And Dignitas, to be honest, I don't think it's really worth them necessarily hunting here. Let's have a look at their money, and then we'll have a yeah. So they should not hunt this weapon either. To be honest, it makes no sense to do that.
Pimp has 1 HP though.
Yeah, it makes no sense to hunt the weapon. So they're just gonna chill. Tabu's going to chill. aizy's going to chill.
They secured you can see they secured the exit for Pimp as well. There's one person watching mid and the other one's in CT, so they can make sure, okay, you can come here and you're not going to get blown up by the bomb.
That's what reminded that song, 93 Till yeah, 93 Till Infinity.
What?
93 Till Infinity.
93 until.
Yeah, that's a really awesome song.
It is indeed.
It's one of my favorite hip-hop tracks, James.
I'm happy for you, Dan.
Thank you.
So, 12-8. Reason's lead is a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller than what it was. Pimp doesn't identify the player through the smoke fast enough, and he will escape with his life. 3 plays on the A bomb site. MSL finding some information there, but he will lose his life for it. Kjaerbye coming in to just do absolute damage. Reason have been wrecked. Config and maeVe remain.
Pace. That was blinding. That was really fast. I think Reason really realized what just happened, to be honest. This is cool. I like this. Something I would like to see more of from Dignitas. It's going in. But the thing is, you have to time it well. You cannot, of course, be predictable with plays like that. That's kind of the point when you go for a blind play. It should be unpredictable. And they made a good timing for it. Now, Reason.
Ooh.
They are in trouble.
That nade took chunks. maeVe only has all of 6 HP left.
Okay, let's again check the money situation real quick. I want to see the round loss bonus. So they have lost 3 in a row. Okay, so yeah, they're in dire straits here.
Well, we can just look at the money now.
On the next loss, it's going to be $2,900 for them. So if you do the math, add 2,900 to what you see now, that's what they will have. I mean, I imagine they'll buy some stuff here, like some pistols, but...
oh, I think they have an awkward situation where Steam has gone down.
What?
So it changes the gun they have equipped. I think that's what they're saying in Danish.
It's not a big deal, James.
It is a big deal.
No.
Of course it is. I think that's one thing I don't understand. Like, if you're in the middle of a match and Steam goes down, the game should be programmed so it doesn't change what you have equipped.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
That can't be difficult to do. It
doesn't make sense because you yourself cannot change it mid-game. But Steam is able to override that somehow. That's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, the settings should be set.
I guess that does make sense because that's like a client thing versus like a host thing, essentially, I suppose. Does that make sense?
I don't know if it's a client thing, because if you have...
Well, you as a client select that you choose this weapon.
Yeah, but I mean, if you...
the defaults as a host, if you lose the connection, it goes back to the defaults, I guess. And the host will always override that. I don't know. But I'm very much out of my depth right now.
But is it...
Something in the Atlantic.
Is it the connection that... I don't feel like it should be the connection to Steam that determines
what
you have equipped on the server.
I feel like it sucks.
It's... Yeah, I've tweeted him about it before, but I don't know. I feel like I should make a video of things that I think need adjusting.
You should call the video. You should make a series.
And say, here, look at this.
And say, excuse me, Valve. And that should be the name of the series.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Valve. But please fix this.
Yeah.
And this. And
if we had been at a major, Dan, we could maybe speak to him about it. Anyway, it's now a 3-round deficit. Dan, leave it there. Now it's a 3-round deficit. Reason 12 to the 9 of Dignitas.
12 to the 9. Sounds like another.
I know it does, right? Even a band.
12 to the
9.
Group,
I guess. Rap group. Anyway.
Let's do all of it.
So, Reason on Eco once more. We just see the stock pistols here. They are not buying anything.
Oh.
Not much to say, really. I expect people to get shot in the face, or the chest, or the legs if people are feeling nervous.
I like how all the terrorists are like wearing different articles of clothing. They can afford a lot in what they wear, you know. Like I'm sure those shoes are pretty expensive. They're probably worth some hundreds of dollars. Those boots, man. They could just not wear boots and get extra grenades.
But this terrain looks rough, Dan. I would not want to walk on this terrain without boots.
Well, you could just get some cheap boots. I mean, you die very quickly. So.
Well, I do. Do you mean me specifically? What are you saying, Dan? Were you watching my stream earlier? Yeah. Anyway, Config gets tagged, at least legged, through the door. But HUNDEN's pushed lower tunnel and taken down one Kjaerbye. That was almost a 3-man push. You can see they were going for a lower and upper play. You see JUGI going for information on short. Information he found in the form of bullets in his jaw. Long is in control of Dignitas, actually. And it's almost been, the A bomb site's almost been vacated by the Reason side. But the bomb is still headed over towards B. So I'm expecting an eventual rotation as that player, I think it's Schneider in long, is just sitting there biding his time. Dignitas running out of players now. Mid to B smoke coming in to suggest something, but we'll see the switch after the bait. Got aizy coming in short. maeVe just waiting to find the headshot. Done significant damage, but not finished the job. He will indeed be executed by aizy. Trade coming in just in time by Tabu. Schneider now moving up long where he's been standing so long versus 3.
Yeah, this is not the easiest situation to deal with for Dignitas. Now that Reason have a man advantage situation, the only saving grace is that they have the bomb down and their config is low on health, of course. But there are a few grenades to work with here. There's a smoke on config as well, so I hope he would throw that before he dies. He's very low on HP. He's going to die, though. That's a nice angle from Schneider. You can't blame him. I don't think he would have predicted to be visible at that point in his ascent. And here we go. We've got Tabu moving in from the bottom. He's going to be able to take down Schneider. We've got Pimp up on the bomb site. He's got to go clutch mode. There's the first shot. There's the first frag. There's one more player. Tabu, he's making his way fast onto Pimp's position. Pimp is trying to juke and jive him, and he's doing an excellent job of it. He's managed to delay so much, and Tabu will get the kill, but it is now meaningless. Pimp has done the job he was asked of, and Dignitas will be able to win the rounds and bring themselves one closer to Reason's score. One more, and they will tie up the map. But Reason, they aren't looking too hot on the money at the moment.
Yeah, they had a really good T-side Reason, but now Dignitas are showing that they are capable of the same. So Reason, they've had a lot of ecos in this half, and we're going to see another one from them. HUNDEN holding a flash. We've got the 5.7s and P250s coming out this time. Last time it was just the stock pistols, the USPSs, the single P2000. Bit of pre-fire there, but no connections made. Bit of information from Dignitas that you can probably expect there to be at least 2 players on long, I would say. Sometimes even 3.
Pimp, the Great Dane, has an AWP, James. It's dogs with AWPs.
Stalks with AWPs?
Dogs with AWPs.
Dogs with AWPs.
I call him the Great Dane.
Okay.
That's a dog. Type of dog.
It is a dog.
Yes.
Dogs with AWPs. I don't know, but yeah, a Great Dane is indeed a dog there.
So here comes the execute from Dignitas. They're going to be pushing their way in, and of course there's not really much that Reason can do with the limited weapons that they are wielding at the moment. So again, you know, I always stress on this map, it is one of the hardest maps to actually have an effect with pistols in this kind of situation. And look at that, Schneider, he's sneaky, sitting in the smoke there. That's not nice. He's playing dirty.
He is indeed.
You know,
and that's actually a very difficult spot when he's on that side of the smoke. It's very easy if you choose to push the smoke to completely run past him and just get shot in the back.
Did you ever go paintballing?
I've been paintballing many, many times.
Do they have smoke grenades in their paintballing sessions?
Not the one I went to last time. I was on a stag do in Budapest.
I bet you'd be that guy sitting in the smoke the entire. Just like you spent £100 on smokes.
I
just
actually,
to keep
what I did, I would have just made a wall of smokes. But I had a word with the manager and I bought a second gun, so I had 2 guns. So it's basically like when you see people hack the game and they have like double negatives, I had double paintball guns and I was the only person. So I just charged people just spamming with 2 guns.
Oh my god.
It was amazing. Dignitas even things up in the late game, 12-12, and they have the money in their favour. But Reason have the full buy coming out, including full nades, including an AWP. Double peek here into B will do the job. Kjaerbye going down. Oh, the bomb's down in city spawn basically as well, and Reason all of a sudden coming alive. Dignitas getting ripped from limb to limb here. Hung, drawn, and quartered.
Oh dear. I would not like to be quartered. Now that you mention it.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a Bardolph in Shakespeare, and he was hung, drawn, and quartered in the story. Sounds uncomfortable. Schneider's in a 1 versus many. Gets 1 frag. Could it be a consolation? He has a minute on the clock here. The bomb is on the other side of the map. And you can see the bodies strewn on the way there.
You would make an amazing, an excellent, fantastic Othello.
Othello?
Yes. Yes, this must happen. We should have an esports version of Othello. And we can cast you as Othello.
3 players left for Schneider to find. He's got 35 seconds. That's a nice peek. Yugi is unlucky to not get that shot. Must have collected a bit of the wall, I imagine. So now the question is, does Schneider go for a save? Because he's basically got no time to pick up the bomb and plant now. So you know, he's done what damage he could, but it's probably worth him trying to live to fight another day. But he's reset his position once again. So maybe just trying to catch a Reason player out of position unbeknownst to them if he can. But he's going to go and save in the pit now. I played Scrooge once in a play. And you know what, Dan? My performance was outstanding.
Counter-terrorists win. I would imagine it to be so. I think you have a lot in common with Scrooge.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have my knife trade back as soon as possible, thank you.
What? I gave you the knife.
You didn't?
I did.
No, you didn't. When did you do that?
I did that when you asked me to do that.
No, you still got it. You're a filthy liar.
That is not true.
Another buy coming out for Dignitas following all the rounds they've won so far in this half. But Reason take the lead once more. Again, this is a best of 3, the first of 3 maps. Lots of Molotovs on the T side. A few, actually lots of Molotovs and incendiaries on the CT side as well. So there will be significant battles for control. See the bomb coming out of T-spawn now. Heading towards mid. Kjaerbye just giving some pressure towards long. Keeping 2 players there for the time being, but Yugi is on the AWP and he can easily flick to the A site. He's currently on the car position. Got 2 Dignitas players trying to identify the setup. That's a great peek from HUNDEN.
Ooh. Hello. Well, hello there, sir. Would you like to die? HUNDEN is, he knows things, James. And he is yet to be discovered in his position. He's gonna, oh no! Oh, he still gets the shot. He was running. That is amazing. But HUNDEN will still get the frag, and this is gonna cause issues for Dignitas now. Losing a man in that position, they have abandoned the position. They cannot. They were thinking of trying to get the split on, and trying to get the pick, but now they have to completely revamp their approach to this round, and they have left themselves 35 seconds to do so. They're going for the A split. This is actually quite readable as well from Reason's perspective. If they want to go for a gamble, they could definitely predict this based on the previous behavior of Dignitas.
Tabu's in a good position where he's going to see the shadow of Kjaerbye before Kjaerbye will even peek him Schneider. That is an insane frag. But how much more can Dignitas do? There are only 15 seconds left. They basically have to kill everyone. There's not time to plant the bomb here. Or is there? The bomb just about making it in time, actually. So, Dignitas getting over the line with mere seconds remaining. Now they find themselves in the strong position versus 1 less man on the Reason side. 3 versus 2, though. aizy only has 9 HP.
And maeVe is trying to jump around. He's jumping up and he's getting down, James.
Get out,
and he's going to be able to get both kills as well. There's 1 more player left. There's nothing more to be done.
Get out and close the door behind you.
Alright.
You have no shame.
Shame is for the weak, James.
13-13, and this is a horrible situation for Reason because all their money has gone, and they are forced to eco 4 AKs and the AWP onto Pimp. And Dignitas have a good spawn for B. Are we going to see some more shock and awe?
Well, Kjærbye is going to be leading the charge. He's going to be catching maeVe with a grenade in his hand. He's going to quickly butcher him with that AK-47, and it's not going to be a very quick round, ladies and gentlemen.
He got butchered indeed, Dan. The full meat hook. Tabu remains with the banana gun, the 5.7.
Bananas are deadly, I learned today.
Indeed, Dan, indeed. Bananas naturally contain radioactive isotopes which can set off detectors in US ports looking for nuclear weapons.
I don't know whether that says something about the bananas,
this is 100% true.
Or if it says something about the way that the detectors work.
Bananas, Dan, bananas are a good source of potassium. I highly recommend eating bananas, unless you're allergic to bananas. Buy coming out for both teams now. Reason 1 round behind, but they've got the buy once more. But look how limited it is. You've got config on the FAMAS, very lacking in nades as well. Reason need an early pick here. You might see some aggression from them.
Here we go. We got a bit of an exchange from Dignitas and Reason on the upper tunnel area. There it is. That's a great peek. Of course, JUGI is expecting that shot, as is Schneider, and that's kind of the nature of that peek. And it will be Reason who get the better of the exchange this time around. However, Dignitas, they've got MSL and CT spawn. They've managed to actually work their way all the way in, that is.
Oh, look how smart that is. They put the mid to B smoke down to protect MSL from a B peak. So they've gone for the A split, but rather than jump down, as we saw Reason execute, they've got him in position all ready to sneak up and get nasty.
Yeah, this is really cool, actually. They weren't expecting from that position. And he can go ahead of the push, but no, HUNDEN's going to be peeking and MSL will go down. That's very unfortunate, actually. It was pretty cool, but never mind. Can they do it? They've got 3 players left. Grenades sailing in. Nice entry from Kjærbye, but HUNDEN is still lurking. Pimp is going to go for the peek. He's going to try to remedy the situation. Oh, that's so fast, so quick, so clean. He gets the second kill as well. HUNDEN falls, and now it's JUGI and Config who have to save the day. But Kjærbye is lurking at the top. Even though his teammates are going to go down, he's going to be able to lay down the fire and take down the rest of the counter-terrorists for a victory. And that's map point in for Dignitas off of the back of that performance. What a comeback from Dignitas.
Speaking of fire, Dan, Dignitas has been walking through the fire. In the first half, it was like when the KFC head honchos went through the hot coals and burned their feet down. But in the second half, they figured it out. And they are on the verge of taking the first map in this best of 3.
Okay, so what do we have? What do we have for Reason? Not much. They... Oh my god, I can see it happening in my mind's eye there. That head getting popped at distance. But it is not to be just yet, as Dignitas take a slow and considered approach to this round at hand. We do have HUNDEN, who's close to the double doors, and he's got the mag. This is a risky position, but it could go in favor of his team if he's able to perform a miraculous feat. 1. Where's the second? Where is the second? HUNDEN's actually going to back away. Now, the AK could be up for grabs. That's a nice play.
He will have heard the bomb drop there as well, although in that position it doesn't really give you much indication as to which direction Dignitas may be headed. Schneider still continuing with the auto sniper, which if Reason were to win this round somehow and get their hands on that, then things may get nasty for Dignitas later on. But easier said than done. Reason have a man advantage for now. But there's only one person in the B bomb site, that's Config, and he's only got a CZ. And he has 4 players headed his way.
Alright. There's the first shot. He's going to be able to spot what's going on. Makes a call to his teammates, but there's surely no way he can delay enough time. And there it is. As you can see, Dignitas, they don't give a damn. They just push on through, take the frags as they need, and it will be an easy affair. Looks like Dignitas have done it. Don't want to call it too soon, but this is looking hopeless for Reason.
3-3, and there is an auto sniper on the site, ready and waiting to do absolutely disgusting things. The first reload is required, probably maybe the longest reload in the game before the Negev. Pimp, though, ready and waiting to get 3 frags and just completely wipe out the remaining CTs. Dignitas, after an arduous first half, managed to take it 16-13 on map 1, Dan.
Yes. So we have Mirage and Cobble to be played, potentially, Cobble. But we'll have to see if we will get that third map. It was a nice comeback from Dignitas. I was very worried for them. Reason... Oh, Overpass was the third one. Sorry, I told a lie. I was very worried for Dignitas because Reason had such a strong first half. And it wasn't just a strong first half. It was a strong first half in a situation that didn't really favor them. They lost that pistol round against the CT side of Dignitas. Dignitas were looking great, but they managed to actually put it back on the T half anyway. So pretty impressive. Nice game. Nice game. I'm looking forward to the next map.
Nice.
All right, so I guess Because that's James's way of saying, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll see you very shortly.